So I've recently taken up I guess a side hustle as a boxing trainer. Basically holding pads for people who want to learn the fine arts of boxing. And how that came about, my friend, he was a PT boxing trainer. He's a pro fighter, and I've held pads for him and sparred with him in the past and everything like that, helped him out with training. But as a PT person, when the lockdown happened last year, he pretty much lost all of his work. So he decided to start up a gym in his own house because a lot of the venues just were shut. So he asked me if I could help assist, and I agreed. So I help him out at the gym just holding pads for people. And yeah, so it's been an interesting side hustle. What you do need to get it in Australia, you do need a boxing license. So it is a course. It's about a $200 course, and it goes on for a weekend. They only teach you two punches as well and a little bit of defense, but you do get a level 1 card, and you're officially licensed by Australia Boxing. And yeah, so and then you have to get a first aid certificate. You have to do a basic coaching license. But I have made some money. I'll probably do another video on how I'm going about making money and things like that. Oh man, it's a weird feeling charging people to train them, because I'm just so used to being a person just helping out, assisting, or helping out with sparring. I've never really been in a position where I've done this professionally, but people, for whatever reason, they really love my pad work, and with my video background. So I have I bought a GoPro, and my background is in television and video editing and stuff like that, and I do it really simple. I just I just set up my GoPro, and I film them and they can see their progression as they get better and better, and I clip it up in the dimensions of Instagram, so it's portrait mode, and they can share that with friends, and as they share that with friends, I brand the videos, and then I'll get queries if they want a one-on-one session with me, and I just build them up, so eventually they'll look good in the pads, and I predict most of the people that I get will want to know the pad work sequence, which I just, how I learned pad work, and I can do another video on the DVDs I learned, is mainly through DVDs and constantly training just at home with my brother. So I would train very hard for the actual gym sessions. And I learnt from Freddie Roach, Russ Amber, and especially the Mayweathers. And it's the Mayweather drills that people really love because they want to look good on Instagram. That's the bottom line, and definitely I can provide that. As far as my boxing goes, I never actually fought in amateur boxing or anything like that. I had no interest to. I only joined boxing because I loved the sport, and I did it to lose weight, but I guess I got pretty good because I was sparring pretty much all the professional fighters. I was doing heavy sparring. I didn't even know light sparring was a thing till a few weeks ago. And I like light sparring, like touch sparring. It's really, really fun. But I grew up for a decade, well over a decade, doing heavy sparring with the pro fighters, getting them ready, and things like that. And I was always asked to do competition fighting, but I just hated the dieting, absolutely hated it, and I didn't have any interest in winning. I'm not a competitive person. I don't have interest in winning belts or championships or anything like that. I just really enjoy it as an exercise, and for whatever reason, I just got really good at pad work, and I always get requested to hold pads, and that's something I can get into, which DVDs to buy and which to learn and practice. If you're lucky to have a brother or a close friend or a sister or whatever that you guys can practice with, because it does take a lot of practice to get pretty good at the pad work. So the first thing I want to showcase is my Morgan body shield, and this thing's been with me for a while, so I wear this for body shots, and there's a world of drills that you can do with this, and it's pretty good. Like, look how thick that is. It's always dangerous training guys who can punch who are very new. It's always dangerous because they'll miss, and I have had a person miss and hit me at the rib area, so that really hurt. But otherwise, it's been absolutely fantastic. I've had this for many years, and it still looks pretty brand new. It holds. The quality of this is pretty good, and I like it how my arms it doesn't block my arm, so I can pretend as if I'm guarding against their punch, and they have to punch around my guard. So if I have my arm around there, they have to punch around my guard, so I can simulate where the person's guard is going to be. So I think this is a pretty good quality Morgan Professional. I know there's Reyes ones and things like that, and I'd love to try out those, but these get pretty expensive because I would like this to go up all the way to the chest, but those ones are around $300 to $500, and I think my brother bought this back in the day for just over 100, or 150. The next one I want to showcase that I bring all the time is this punch cushion or punch shield, and this is by the company Punch Equipment. And this company is really, really good. It's an Australian company. It's not Australian made. This is made in Pakistan, I believe, if I can remember where the tag is. And the thing I love about this, it's like I'm one of the few boxing trainers that really believes in just the heavy bag. I think the heavy bag, like the old masters, Muhammad Ali, all the way down to Jack Dempsey, Jack Johnson, they pretty much just had a heavy bag and a training partner. Obviously, your training partner is the number one tool in the gym, but I would argue the heavy bag is probably second. And a lot of kids don't like to punch on the heavy bag because they find it boring or awkward or whatever. I really do believe it's where I developed all my power personally and durability. And it really is a strain, or really pushes the mental muscles as well. Like you really push through with how much mental strength you have to go through around just hitting a heavy bag, and it exercises your imagination, like imagining where the opponent's going to hit you. So the next best thing is this is like a mobile heavy bag. So I do one round just with jabs, one round just with right hands, one round just with the hook to the body, hook up top, and it's like a mobile heavy bag, and I'm behind it, encouraging them or pushing them to go through. So I think this is one of the best tools. This was about $100, and I got this on eBay. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. There are other companies that make brands like this, and you don't have to go really big. Like this, for me, is a really good size. But I've seen ones of the punch shield that are really big. I don't think that's necessary. Like, the smaller you get, you work more on accuracy. And this will be a common theme throughout this whole showcase here. I try to get brighter colors because a lot of the times when I'm PTing and I'm traveling over to their houses, like in their garage or in their backyard porch or whatever, their pergola, their lighting is very poor. So I discovered really quickly, because I really like black, like especially anyone who does filmmaking knows, a lot of things are always black all the time, like black cases, Peak Design, black case and all the rest of it. But I learned quickly from PTing, get brighter colors, because the lighting, quite often the lighting in a lot of places you go to, especially during the winter time, if you're PTing and you're traveling to a person's house, they're not going to have the best lighting. Even my garage where I train in my house, I don't have the best lighting there. So if you can get brighter colors so it's easier for them to see the target, it's much better. In fact, a lot of the guys I do train have black gloves, so it's really hard for me to see their punches sometimes. And my eyesight's getting worse. But yeah, the punch shield, this was $100. Highly recommend. I reckon this is one of the best tools I got, other than the mitts, which is what everyone wants to work on. But this, for me, works on the boxer's power, endurance, and it's, again, a mobile heavy bag, which in my opinion is the second best tool in the gym other than the training partner. So I've done a review on the Datsusara Bag if you want to go through it. I think this is the best, definitely the best sports bag I've ever owned. It fits everything I need and has so many pockets. It's really stressed out. It's really maximized the size of it and what I've put in there. I've slightly changed what I'm carrying since I made that video, so this will be interesting. But it's very, very heavy, this, and it's packed to the brim. But this is my mobile training gym. So I'm going to start on this left pocket here. I keep my sparring helmet now wedged into this far left pocket. A Tidal boxing helmet. I can't remember how much I paid for this. I bought this many, many years ago. But yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Really good sparring helmet. Great visibility. Doesn't move around too much. The last sparring session I did have, it felt like it was crushing my head. But no, phenomenal. And just look at the quality of it. And I've done hundreds of sparring rounds. And look at this. It looks brand new. Looks absolutely brand new. And then I keep 2 towels in here. This is I got this. I think I bought this from the Wild Card because I'm a big Freddie Roach fan from the Wild Card Boxing Club. So I bought it literally from their website. And this is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu towel. I think they gave this to me free because I bought a shirt from their website like many years ago, like well over a decade ago. And in this, I keep my timer, a Pelican case timer. So I do train out of a gym and has its own timer. But if I'm going to somebody's house, you can use your phone. You know, there's many great apps that has timers, boxing timers on it. But I personally like to use this one. So this is what we used for in television for many years. We had heaps of these things. I bought 2 for myself, and then when the television station closed down, they still had a couple of them left over, and I said, oh, can I have them? They said, yeah, sure. And the thing I like about this, has 2 timers, so I set the first timer to 3 minutes, the second timer to a 30-second break, and this has a clock, which I never use. But the great thing about this is I can still wear a glove and still press it with my thumb, like, oh, timer 1, let's go, 3 minutes, stop, timer 2, 30 seconds. So even I don't have to take off my glove. I can still press it with my glove on. And sometimes with a pad, I can press it because the buttons are really well laid out. There's not many timers that just have that ergonomics. So I keep it in a Pelican case here, which was overpriced. I saw somebody pay $10 for this. In Australia, it costs like $30. So, but I keep it in a hard Pelican case, and the reason for that is if I don't keep it in a case, I'll constantly be hitting it like while it's rotating and moving around in the bag, and you'll constantly hear the timer going off. By keeping it in a hard case, you just get rid of that issue. But this hard case is pretty big and, you know, adds a lot more bulk to the bag. And again, I'm all into the brighter colors. Just makes it easier. So here in the main case, I just keep my keys or my wallet in here. Another thing, and my mouth guard, I started using that to put my mouth guard. I know I said in the review before I don't use this pocket much, but I do now. I'll just go back to this punch pillow. Now, the downside of this punch pillow is that it will, as you're holding the bag for their punches, the leather here will start chipping away at the skin. And I've got a few calluses there from it. It's just a bit annoying. And as a trainer, you want to stay as healthy as possible because that's what's going to get you your income. You know, if you're sick and you have to cancel bookings and things like that, then you know it's going to affect your income. So you want to stay as healthy as possible. So invest in good gear where you know you're well protected. You're not taking much damage. And for me to take out that issue of this constantly chipping away at my skin, I just got some really cheap cotton gloves that I wear around. You can't use fingerless gloves, unfortunately. You have to use the full mount. And when I hold them, I just hold it with these gloves, and that really protects me from the leather chipping away or rubbing against my skin every time I'm holding it against a boxer. So in this, I just keep 2 gloves here. One glove again for just really cheap cotton gloves I got for like $4, and then these Harbinger gloves if I'm doing kettlebell exercises, which I haven't done in a long time. Like just holding pads for people is really exhausting. Okay, and then in this far right pocket, nothing's changed on this one. I have very advanced, these gloves never took up, these are Tidal boxing gloves, and these are catch and hit gloves, so you can use this as a pad. So, you know, it's got a big target on it so people can hit it, and I can fire back at them. So really advanced boxers, this is the one I use for, and it's really fast to put on, and I don't wear hand mitts. I don't wear wraps for it as well. So I'll just put this back on that thing. So nothing's changed there from the Datsusara review. Okay, so in the main case now, if I can find the zippers, is so something new here. So everything is pretty modular. I got everything cased up. As a boxing coach, I'm pretty sure like when you do the boxing course, you have to do a first aid course. And in the first aid course, they gave me this first aid case, and it's really big, unfortunately. It just takes up a huge amount of space in my bag. I'll have to double check it, but I think I have to carry this as a PT. You have to carry a first aid kit around with you at all times. I would prefer just to keep this in the car personally. But yeah, because it just takes up so much room in my bag, and it just adds a lot of weight as well because this is pretty heavy. But yeah, the first aid kit is in my bag. I'd like it not to be. The next one is a wonderful tool here, and it's very experimental. But this is from Quest Strike, and I've been after something like this for a long time because pads is great. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool, and it's only recently come in. Like I'm an old school guy. I prefer the heavy bag, but everyone loves pad work, so I get it. But this is really interesting because it gives people a visual idea of where the target area is. And I always say a boxer will always aim for the chin. That's where a lot of your nerves are and everything like that. Like that's why they call it the button. Once you get a good shot on the chin, they'll go down. It's like an electric shock, and they'll go down stiff and hit the ground. Whereas a shot to the eye, a shot to the nose, they can still survive and fight on. Like Joe Frazier fought for many years at the highest level with cataract in his eye. A shot to the temple will daze you, but like if you look at Mickey Ward against Ettore Gatti, I think their second fight, he was hit in the temple very early in like round 3, and he was seeing double the whole fight. He lost the fight, but the point is he still fought on and was very dangerous. And a shot to the jaw, you can still survive a shot to the jaw. Like Ali broke his jaw against Ken Norton, and he still fought on. Like he lost the fight, he was in tremendous pain, but the point is you're still dangerous even with a broken jaw. But a good shot to the chin, you will go down. So that's a boxer always aims for the chin, and this gives a good visual representation, not only for the person hitting the target, but for me as well. Like pads is a bit awkward. You're sometimes forgetting, okay, imagine this is the head, but this gives me a visual representation of where the head is. I think this is fantastic. It's still very experimental. I only take it out with students that I feel comfortable with, but I'm still building up some drills with this. But I think this is definitely one of the big there's many how should I say, evolutions or upgrades in boxing technology, and I think this is a step in the right direction, just having something like this. And the quality of this is fantastic. So this is by a company called Quest. This was about $180, and I had to pay heaps extra for the shipping. For the company that sold it here in Australia, I think it's called Ringside, they charged me $50 to ship it out, so well over $200 I paid for this. So it's pretty expensive, and people said, oh, it looks like the head from Prometheus. And in here, I got some new pads in here. So again, I keep everything modular in this. These are called packing cells. I think I got this from Kathmandu. I think. Just open this up now. So these are Russian pads. So for the longest time, and the reason I like these, one, because they're white. So again, it's easy to see. And I would have loved if this Quest Strike head came in white, like a full white head, just so it's easy to see, because this is pretty dark. But these pads here, one, I'm holding pads for a lot of people now as a PT person, or as a coaching assistant, or as a pad guy, whatever you want to call it. And so I noticed my hands were taking a lot of damage for the longest time, for many years, and these pads are still as good as ever. I've been using these, and the reason I've been using these Everlast Pro versions, or whatever, these are the Pro versions, definitely. The Midwork Advanced Training. I don't know. I remember this being the professional version. So I saw Roger Mayweather use these, and I went, well, if it's good enough for Roger Mayweather, it'll be good enough for me. And I love these, how it's cushioned. It's got a cushion here, and it's when you put your hand in the mitts, it's like that. It's like you're slightly curved. And these have been absolutely fantastic, but I am starting to feel the wear and tear, because, like, if I just had one student, that's fine. But, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much requests. So many people, all with a varying degree of punching power, and as they get better as well, I can feel it on my hand. So I spotted very quickly the wear and tear on my hand, so I wanted something that will really protect my hand, so I got more. I have more longevity in this sport as a pad holder or trainer. And so I went with these Russian branded Ultimate Boopers. I'll have a link below. These are very expensive, nearly, I think, $300, including shipping. The quality is fantastic. So this is a Russian company. They have a phenomenal Instagram account. Their pad holding is just absolutely fantastic. And I like these, how it protects your hand as well. So my fear is always putting a finger in the boxer's eye, because I constantly attack them. the people that I'm holding, and this protects that, so there's no danger of me accidentally poking them in the eye. But the only issue with these pads is they're really straight, so I'm holding them here, and inside it, if you were to look, my hands are absolutely straight, whereas opposed to these pads where my hands were curved, and just that muscle of me taking it, and I'm getting more strain on here because my hands are so stiff inside. If it was curved, it feels more relaxed and I can absorb the punches. I don't know, it just feels a lot easier. I think it's just a case of wearing them in. But yeah, I highly recommend these just because of the quality is just outstanding. And these have this air technology, so obviously you can't feel it, but if I push down there, I can feel a lot of air coming out of that hole, and that's what helps cushion the blow. So I think for power punches and stuff like that, I don't have to worry anymore. It's just a case of my body having to adjust of holding the pad straight rather than in a curve. But I do like the build quality of this. It's fantastic, and I do like the bright color of it. So it's easy for the trainee to see if I go, to varying gyms of varying light quality. And pretty much everything else is the same. I keep my skipping rope in here. I haven't skipped in a long time. I used to have very elaborate skipping, but my ankles aren't great because of years of basketball. And in this pocket here is just my Hayabusa gloves. So again, I just wear quick wraps. I don't bother wearing full hand wraps. So just quick wraps in there just to speed it up, get to the boxing gym, and very good quality Hayabusa gloves. I've had this for many, many years, as I said before, and these have been absolutely fantastic. I saw Josh Barnett on his Instagram account using white Hayabusas, so I had to buy white Hayabusas. I figured, hey, if it's good enough for an MMA fighter, it'll be good enough for a beat-up old boxer like me. And that's it. So the big thing for me, what a lot of my students like, and I'm getting a lot of clients, is I shoot with the GoPro, and I always ask permission. Hey, is it okay if I put up today's lesson or highlights of today's lesson on Instagram? And then I clip it up in like in After Effects, Final Cut X. I use Final Cut X. And then I clip up the footage, just highlights of it, 15 seconds in portrait mode. And so it looks better on the phone, so it's all vertical. And then they share it, and then their friends see it, and then I get referrals. So that's a big secret weapon there, is getting a GoPro camera, because it's at 4K. It's easy to zoom in, and if you know a bit about keyframing, you can keyframe and follow them along. If not, if you can't afford a GoPro, because this GoPro is about $800 or $600 rather. I spent extra getting a tripod and an extra battery. If you can't afford a GoPro, just use your phone, and then your phone's ready to go. But I don't know how you're going to go about putting your branding on it if you're a business, and how you're going to put your branding on it and stuff like that. Just if they're going to share the video, just make sure they put your name on it and everything like that. But yeah, so don't feel you have to get a GoPro. Just your phone will be more than capable enough to highlight the lessons of that day. So I'll do another video on how much I'm earning. I'll let you guys know how I'm going with this business. I only just started early this year holding pads, but I was only doing it once a week, and now it's almost like full-time. Like pretty much every night I'm at the gym for an hour holding pads for people, and I've got so many different people asking for lessons, private PT lessons, and the majority of people just want to learn the Mayweather. So I'm happy to touch spar with people. Like, and again, I didn't know there was such a thing as touch sparring. I in my whole entire life at the gym, I was trained to do heavy sparring, and that's why I don't like it, because it scares a lot of people off. If you land a good body shot, or you land a really, like my best punch is my jab. Once I land the jab, they really question how far they want to go in the sport. But I always say, oh, look, the main thing I teach is defense. And so the level 1 is just learning pad work. And if they want to go extend their boxing, learn more about the craft of boxing, I will extend it out to learning defense. And then after learning defense, we can talk about getting into sparring, talking about doing punching drills. But I got to be honest, the most of my clients that I'm getting, or people that are requesting for PT sessions, are people that just want to learn the pad work. All they want to learn is the Mayweather work. And I can do another video if you guys want on which DVDs to purchase. Most of them are probably up on YouTube. Which DVDs to purchase to study, and again, run through those drills with a close friend or a brother or a sister if you got one, and that'll rack up the time learning the pad sequence. Because I was very lucky to have a brother that I would train drills over and over again to learn some. To learn some of the Freddie Roach pad work, of the Mayweather pad work, of the Russ Amber. And the great thing is I've brought it all into my own sort of thing. So my pad work is really a big rip-off of Mayweather, I think. But I have brought in a lot of Russ Amber and a lot of Freddie Roach into it as well, and a bit of Teddy Atlas. So if you're a fan of boxing as well, this is great. If you're a PT person looking to extend out into boxing pad work, I think keeping up to date with this channel and the recommendations that I can give, I think that will help out because it's getting very popular with people to look good on the pad sequence and share it on Instagram and social media, because that's definitely an area that people want to get in. And most of all, they're getting fit. They're getting out there. They're getting in shape. And the great thing about pad work in this mobile kit is that I can bring this anywhere. I can bring this to the park. We can have a session at the park. I can bring it to your garage, because a lot of my clients are very shy. They just want to do pad work at their home, and I clip up videos for them. I send it to them, and they don't share it on Instagram, which is fine. They don't want to share it on Instagram till they look like Mayweather. All right, guys, I'll let you know how I go. Next video will probably just be on the DVDs that I recommend on learning. On which DVDs to get, so you can learn the pad work and bring it to your own clients.